Deal about our commencement speaker? So,
I totally admire the ambitions of your generation to create a more just and inclusive society. I think it is also wonderful that you care so much about not hurting other people's feelings in the million and one ways we all do that every second of every day. It's lovely to want to fix those things, but, all caps, but, what I need to tell you as a comedian, do not lose your sense of humor. You can have no idea at this point in your life how much you are going to need it to get through. Not enough of life makes sense for you to be able to survive it without humor. And I know all of you here are going to use all of your brains and muscle and soul to improve the world, and I know you're going to do a bang-up job. And when you're done, as I am now, I bet the world, because of you, will be a much better.
Watch as this tornado rips through western Pennsylvania, shredding rooftops. The National Weather Service preliminarily says the twister was an EF2 with wind speeds of up to 118 miles per hour, leaving some residents forced to seek shelter, including about 100 members of this local church, some infants.
I go out and I see debris flying all over the auditorium, so I immediately tell everybody down in the basement.
The tornado striking in the middle of church services. Watch as the lights go out as the pastor's wife was in the midst of a song.
I thought I heard the windows start to shatter, and then the sound was like a train coming through.
That's the church steeple that flew off the building and damaged several cars. The pastor says, amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. The severe weather continuing a trend of tornadoes over the weekend, with 4 preliminary ones reported yesterday across the Ohio Valley and 3 potential ones in southwest PA. The National Weather Service reports there have been a staggering 746 preliminary tornadoes year to date, some that have recently decimated through the heartland. But back in Pennsylvania, cleanup is still underway tonight.
Donald Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen is testifying today in the former president's criminal trial in New York. Cohen is the fella who paid $130,000 to adult film actor Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 election. That is not in dispute. Prosecutors say this is in dispute, this part, that he did it at Donald Trump's direction. That's the key part. The defense could question Cohen's credibility, however, as a witness because he previously pleaded guilty to lying to Congress. And for that, he served a little more than a year in federal prison, that and other charges.
That's right. Trump addressed reporters outside the courtroom this morning and denied any wrongdoing. He also criticized President Biden, calling him, quote, the worst president in the history of the United States of America. CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa is following this from the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, as he has been for weeks now. So, Bob, what are the major takeaways from Cohen's testimony this morning?
Good to be with both of you. Today is such an important day for the prosecution in former President Donald Trump's criminal case here in Lower Manhattan. Michael Cohen finally taking the stand. His testimony began with many biographical details, how he ended up in Donald Trump's orbit more than a decade ago, how he became a confidant and so-called fixer for the then businessman. And he talked about how he really built up a portfolio for Trump that was unusual, that included dealing with everything from when a taxi driver hit Trump's limousine to allegations about Trump's conduct. And that latter part is what's crucial for the prosecution here, as Cohen right now is detailing all of these so-called catch-and-kill operations that he set up with David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer, to catch bad stories and terrible allegations about Trump, which Trump denies, and catch them before and kill them before they were published in the National Enquirer.
Bob, it seems to me that the jury would be interested in understanding Cohen's journey from chief defender of Donald Trump to now chief critic of Donald Trump. So how does he explain that evolution?
He's trying to stay away in his testimony from making it all about him. I've spoken to Michael Cohen about this at length over the past couple of years as he's prepared for this day in his life. And he's leaning on the documentation and the dates and the chronology of his relationship with Trump rather than kind of vague recollections or observations about Trump. He knows that he has served time in jail for allegations related to this case on a federal level. But as he has said to me and so many others, he believes he acted at the behest of Donald Trump. And so he's leaning into the details that can be corroborated here by testimony and documentation.
Bob, Trump has been scheduling his campaigning between the dates he has to be in court. That clearly hasn't stopped people from going there and rallying. But there was a rally over the weekend. How did he address the trial, and how is it all playing out for him politically?
You see here in Lower Manhattan right now, just walking past me, is Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. You have Nicole Malliotakis, a New York lawmaker here. And so this campaign has now come to New York. It's come to the Jersey Shore over the weekend. Trump was in Wildwood, New Jersey, held a rally with thousands of people over the weekend. So he's trying to fit in time for campaigning, but this is a real burden on his campaign in the sense of the time cost to have the candidate off the trail, sitting in a courtroom. He can't be anywhere else. This is a criminal trial. He must be here.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you.
Listen to this. San Francisco spending $5 million taxpayer dollars to help homeless alcoholics with a pilot program that includes providing them with free beer and vodka. Yes, this is happening. The program supplies them with 1 to 4 drinks per day, as well as life skills classes, hotel housing, 3 meals a day, and cultural outings like San Francisco Giants games. Tom Wolfe is a homeless recovery advocate and the founder of the Pacific Alliance for Prevention and Recovery. Tom joins me now. Tom, as a recovering addict yourself, is this a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea, and not when you consider the fact that over the last 4 years, San Francisco spent $20 million to basically service a total of a couple of hundred people during that 4-year period by giving them free vodka and beer. For that amount of money, we could have funded 60 drug treatment beds instead. So you really have to ask, where's the recovery in all of this, and what is the desired outcome of this program? They say it'll save money, but we just spent $20 million over the last 4 years. So you have to really ask: is it saving money, and is it making a difference?
Yeah, they say their goal is to keep people out of the ER and reduce calls to cops. Do you think giving homeless alcoholics free booze will accomplish that goal?
Well, what also accomplishes that goal is actually drug treatment. So no, it may reduce those calls and thereby save money. But again, we're spending $5 million a year to give people free alcohol, it's kind of like, I'm a recovering heroin addict that used to live on the street. If you just, were spending $5 million to give me less heroin than what I was already taking, guess what? I'd still be on the street today, or I'd be dead from using. So I don't really see what the benefit is of all of this. And I'm glad it was exposed.
Do you get the sense that the system almost wants to keep people sick for some reason, for some sick reason?
I would like to think that that's not the case, but in this situation, yeah. I mean, the Department of Public Health's job is to keep people healthy, not to keep people sick. So this program runs exactly opposite of what the actual stated goal is of our public health department, in which has a budget itself of over $3 billion a year in San Francisco to keep people healthy and to keep our city healthy. So again, you have to ask: is giving free alcohol to people that are chronic alcoholics actually keeping them healthy or keeping them sick? And the answer is the latter. Tom, they're still sick because they're still out there on the street.
Apologies, Tom. I think it's so important every time we have you on because you are the expert here. And to me, every time I hear you speak, it seems like the progressive left has no real solutions other than to feed the homeless industrial complex and never help the people that need the help. It's so important that you come on our program and let people know about that. Tom Wolfe, thank you for what you do. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
I think in the video you saw it very clearly. You know, it was a very unfortunate, unlucky situation for me. You know. I got the medical care and been through half an hour of nausea and dizziness and blood and a lot of different things. So, but I managed to sleep okay. You know, I had headaches, but the next day or yesterday was pretty fine. So I thought, it's okay.